Something happens to you when you leave this town. The farther away, the hazier it all gets. But me, I never left. I remember all of it.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Film Seizure at the Movies. I am Jeff Arbuckle and I am joined by
Jason Oliver
and Chuck Moore.
All right. Well, we talked about this when we saw the Quentin Tarantino movie, the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes.
That we would probably be covering this movie, and this movie is It Chapter 2. Before we dive into any conversation, just a reminder, new episodes of Film Seizure every Wednesday, filmseizure.com. Also on places like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever they call that now, Google Play, and TuneIn. Also on Mondays is Monster Mondays. All those same places. Just go over to Facebook or Twitter. Follow the old Film Seizure. Isn't that right, Jason?
Yeah, do that.
Do that.
Do that.
Do that.
But you found us. You're listening to us now, so you can find other things to listen to.
You can
us.
find other things.
Yeah.
You can follow us on all of those places. Real quick, a couple things, a couple disclaimers here. One, the two gentlemen that I'm joined with have much more background with Stephen King and with It. I'm judging this as a movie. So there may be things that I didn't quite like, but maybe you might say was part of the book or what, or liked or didn't like, and it may or may not be part of the book or whatever. But also there will probably be spoilers if you don't have much knowledge of it, either in book form or in ABC television miniseries of the week form. So just be aware of that. So
Yes.
I will start by asking you guys, what are your general opinions of the first It from 2 years ago?
I quite liked the first It from 2 years ago. I thought it was a good kind of coming of age story. Jason will probably echo this, kids in trouble kind of stuff we used to like to watch when we were children. But I did like that one.
Yeah, I liked It Chapter 1 quite a bit. It kind of felt like the sort of kids adventure movies that we watched when we were kids in the 80s. I thought it had a lot of that. It was, I think it came out around the time now where you're sort of seeing a resurgence of movies like that. Like
Especially thanks to Stranger
like
Things.
Like Stranger Things, exactly. And so that I think kind of helped and hurt it a little bit, because it almost sort of felt a little bit derivative of the thing that was derivative of it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Plus Finn Wolfhard carries over, so
Yeah, that too, right? So I think there's something to kind of, it's a bit of a hurdle, but it felt pretty true to the novel in a lot of ways. The kids were great. The kids were so much better in It Chapter 1, in my opinion, than in the miniseries.
they were almost like an afterthought, it seems like, in the miniseries, like the casting. And
because they structured the miniseries differently than the movies. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I liked Chapter 1. It wasn't without its problems, and some of those problems carried into Chapter 2 for me. But I all in all enjoyed Chapter 1.
Yeah, Chapter 1's a fun movie. I did not find Chapter 1 very scary.
Yeah.
But it's not without its tense moments, if that makes sense.
I thought that Chapter 1 did a better job of building tension.
Yeah.
But it wasn't overly scary. I did not feel like Chapter 2 was scary at all.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. With the exception of maybe one or two scenes.
Okay. So, all right. So with Chapter 2, so the story of It is structured in a way that you have a story of a group of children who combat a Pennywise the Clown, beat him, and then 27 years later, because Pennywise is on a 27-year cycle, he comes back. And they come back together as adults to finally do away with it. the entity that is it that takes the form of Pennywise the clown. I'm going to start because I believe that I'm in the middle here. I actually did find some things in Chapter 2 scarier. But it was mostly the adults dealing with when they had to go out and get their totems, basically, to do this. Basically, they decide that the only way that they're going to be able to defeat it is to do this Native American ritual. And in order to do that, they have to burn something that's important from their lives. So the parts in which they're going to get those things, that's where I was kind of, I felt like there was a little bit more scurry.
Yeah, I was never, if you don't mind me jumping in,
go right.
never quite scared at anything in this movie. But as an adult, I don't get scared easily unless it's an emotional or, I don't know the other word. But I found those parts in the middle that you thought were scary to be some of the best and worst moments of the entire film, which is kind of funny.
That is kind of funny to say because, okay, so I'll go ahead and just spoil it. I think all three of us have major critiques in this movie. I know this guy, and I'm pointing to Jason, has major critiques, but we'll get to that. Yeah, so I mean, I was saying to Jason that I agreed with one opinion that I heard, that I think Pennywise is better in this movie. I think he has more stuff to do.
Better than the first.
Better than part one.
Okay.
I disagree, but go ahead. Finish your
no,
reason.
that's fine. I mean,
I think Pennywise is better when he's terrorizing children, and not as effective when he's terrorizing adults. I mean, and to the point where Bill Hader even is like mocking Pennywise.
Okay, well, we'll get to that here in
part 2, which totally diminishes why you should fear him, but yet they come at you relentlessly with "you should be scared of this."
Right. So I'll definitely get to that here in a minute, because I have one huge critique of this movie. But okay. Let's just start with the stuff that we like, I guess. So, let's do the old like, dislike, like. The whole what's that called? Criticism cycle or whatever it's called. But no,
the sandwich? Are you talking about the
sandwich?
sandwich?
The sandwich, yes.
Okay.
The sandwich, yeah, exactly.
Praise, hate, praise.
Right. Although
something like
it's not going to quite work.
No,
out
our sandwich might only have one slice of bread. It's going to be an open face sandwich, probably. For most of us.
Mine's on moldy bread.
A hot brown.
It's a Kentucky hot brown. Yeah. I liked the casting choices in this.
I echo that.
I do feel that they found actors who not only kind of looked like they're the child versions of the characters, but also had similar mannerisms and things like that.
Right.
I did not have any reason to doubt that these people were not the grown-up versions of the kids from Chapter 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's about it for my positive.
That's funny.
I'll echo that. I liked most of the casting. I thought the most inspired casting was, Bill Hader is sort of the no-brainer. He's sort of the best part of this movie for me. But even he, I don't think was good all the time. Chastain was very well cast, and James Ransone as Eddie, I thought was honestly the best cast.
I think so too. I think he portrayed the character that he had the best.
I thought Ben was pretty weak.
I did too. He kind of drowned in the role.
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah. The guy that played Mike, I thought was pretty solid.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. The guy who I thought at first was the guy from True Blood and the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies.
Oh yeah.
Joe whatever.
I was
Mag-
encouraged by the casting of James McAvoy because I generally like him, but I thought he was really bad in this.
Really?
Yep.
Because I appreciated his stuttering.
That was fine, and that's something from the book too, where as he starts to remember the stuff from Derry, he starts to stutter again. Yeah, I mean the character I think was written fine. His performance was poor.
I have the opposite take on that. I think he did well with what he was given, but what he was given wasn't good.
He just overreacted to a lot of things.
Maybe.
And that's poor. That's bad direction too.
One specific scene I know that you're talking about. I don't know if we want to bring it up.
The kid on the
where
skateboard
he's yelling on the street.
It's just bad. It's laughably bad.
Why I laughed at that scene is like, man, this kid is just getting accosted by these
all the
fucking
losers. Yeah.
I think that's why they made that choice to have him yell at him too, because it was the second time, but it just really didn't work necessarily.
And it also felt like weirdly too coincidental.
That he lived in the house.
Yeah, and it's the same kid. It's like, why? Just because you want to cast this kid,
Or make us care about him for the scene.
But that I think was the scary scene for me. The scariest scene was in the House of Mirrors. I thought that was
a good.
That
scene.
was really quite scary. And underneath the bleachers, I won't mention things that happen because if people want to be surprised by the scare, I thought those were the two best scares of the movie.
That's interesting too, because that is one of the few things they added for Pennywise to do that was not
right
in the book.
I thought they were the two best things for me.
I can't remember the fun
because they reflected what's Ben's is Richie. No, not Richie. Ben's little brother.
You mean Bill's little brother?
Bill's little brother. Thank you,
Georgie.
Thank you. Yeah. So it mirrored, sort of reflected the way that Georgie got it.
The
right?
longer you've been away from it, the more you've forgotten about it.
No, Jesus.
They really hammer that idea though that Bill is a failure with younger children. They try really hard to make you believe.
But it's like we kind of get it.
That's what I'm saying. They're hammering it. They're hammering it hard.
and I thought that he had already kind of gotten over that. I think you had mentioned that earlier today.
Yeah.
Didn't we already kind of get over Bill's?
I think they didn't have a lot of other things to attack on him, and that was the biggest thing for him. So it had to, I guess, carry over. But
there's something I kind of like, though thematically. The more I've thought about it, the way they handled not the totems per se, because I just felt like that was a little. I don't know. I know that's in the book. Kind of, but I don't know, and I'm not really in love with that idea of them having to separate and like go find these totems that represent something about themselves and learn something about themselves. But I do like the idea of they didn't defeat Pennywise 27 years ago because they didn't defeat their own inner demons,
which is what this whole movie is
right
about.
So 27 years later, there's still something that they have not overcome into adulthood that they have to confront in order to actually defeat it.
It's the whole idea of suppressing trauma from your life. Like, that's what it is. He's the trauma.
Yeah.
The kids leave. They've suppressed it, so they don't remember this whole ordeal because they're suppressing whatever bad happened to them.
But some of it doesn't.
And then they have to confront it again in their adult life.
But some of it doesn't really work. Like, some of it does. I mean, all right, sure. Let's introduce this thing about Bill where he still feels guilty for
pretending to be sick.
Georgie for pretending to be sick for Georgie's death, right? Okay. You've got Bev, who she's the classic sort of abuser's victim, right?
Yep.
She hasn't learned to value herself,
right?
Right. You've got Eddie, who is still a hypochondriac, who marries his mother, right? Yeah. But then you don't really, for me, I didn't really understand Ben's POV. I didn't really get much from Richie other than what they introduced, which, okay, but they don't really go there.
He never.
And I feel like that's a big spoiler. I don't know if we want to talk about
let's
that.
go ahead and talk about it because I don't think this. I think this is something that's been talked about already. So it is less than heavily implied. It's actually just flat out stated that Richie is gay
Right.
and that he's been in love with Eddie all of his life, basically. I didn't have a problem with that.
I didn't either.
I had a problem with him never really seeming to kind of come to terms with it.
Exactly.
Right. At
Which-
the end, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he should have just opened up to his friends at that point.
Yeah.
Right. Like, unless that happened, unless that's a deleted scene, it's a really important deleted scene to
Right.
tack on that postscript.
And also his totem was what? A arcade token. It was like, how does that translate to anything?
We didn't see the arcade in the first one.
Yeah, we
Right.
did for that one scene
Oh,
where
yeah.
where after they had their falling out. But yeah, I mean, it
Yeah,
still
but okay.
it still doesn't connect
So
to.
I don't
still
remember
do-
it.
Well, yeah, I mean, then they put that flashback scene in where he wants to hang out with the other boy,
The other boy calls him.
and
gay.
yeah, and it's all
That's the
it's all
connection.
it's all a
just
little bit
stringy.
yeah. Yeah,
Well, what
it's
it
a bit of a
connects to-
reach for me.
What
yeah,
it really kind of more connects to is the opening of this movie,
right.
where there's a gay couple at this festival or carnival, and they get accosted by locals, like straight up Stephen King bullies,
Yeah.
because
Right.
of course, I mean, of course they're going to be like fucking maniacally murderous
This-
just for a laugh.
It's just
It's
it's
pretty
the
much straight
new
from the book.
It's straight from the
right.
book. Yeah,
So, and that was one of my problems with this is that they changed the characters around to where Ben is the historian and not what's his.
Oh yeah, so Ben was the historian in the first one, and then Mike becomes the historian.
Because I think
The
people were
second
like,
one.
"Hey, wait a minute! You took away the black guy's power or the character stuff." And
Right.
then,
They
but
did,
yet
that
they
was
still,
the problem I had with the first one is that they didn't give that to Mike in the first
in the
place.
first place, right?
So
yeah.
in a way, so they whitewashed the first movie
Yeah.
to give it to Ben, and then they kind of whitewash his power by him being one kind of a liar,
Right.
and two focusing more on the gay bashing bigotry part of the town and not really going too much into the general bigotry towards everything else that this town seems to kind of have.
Right. They
that make
took a
sense?
lot of Mike's backstory out. Like
Yeah.
his failure from the books, his failure to save his parents.
Yeah.
He had a lot of problems in the first book with being a young black kid in Derry and everyone.
Yeah, I mean, they did touch upon that in the first one, but it's like,
Here's some problems I think is with the different generations. The book is 60s and 80s, right?
yeah,
This is 80s and how are we in the teens,
Right.
right? And they tried to bring some of the exact same stuff from the book into the movies, and I don't think it quite worked as well. The sort of Ryan White murder doesn't really feel as we feel like at least I feel personally as a society that we've sort of progressed past that type of violence against homosexuals.
And it's the filmmakers are saying we have not.
Yeah, maybe.
Almost, it feels like that. It
Sure,
feels like that.
but it seemed like, all right, well, what made the first movie effective to me, and this is something that Susan, my wife, mentioned too, is that everyone in the town seemed insidious. All the adults seemed insidious.
they
Like
turned blind
the
eyes.
people
to
the people who
what's
stay in
going
this
on.
town, they're not just, it's not necessarily that they're bigoted, they're just all infected by evil, right? Or they turn a blind eye to it, or they refuse to see it,
Which
and
is-
everybody's implicit, right?
Right.
So in chapter 2, the focus of this evil got real narrow into the homophobia, which felt a little bit too much like a message, maybe.
Right.
Yeah, I felt like
and not nearly as broad a broad
yeah,
spectrum of horror.
That's my problem. Is that I feel like if this movie was made 5 years ago, it would have been the race stuff. But today it's like I'm almost surprised that they were as I'm almost surprised that they didn't try something else, like a trans person instead of
Yeah.
just, it's like
That would have
it doesn't fit. Like the scene was good, and like it was a real bummer of an opening scene. Like,
I mean, we're in a day and age now where white gay men are looked at in the LGBT community as having privilege because they're white males, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there is a legitimate, backlash against that, this sort of sense of privilege even within that community. So I agree. If you could have used foresight to kind of update some of the actual sort of battle lines that community is dealing with,
Modernize it.
and modernize it, within the sense of the trans community, I think would make a lot more sense.
Right.
I mean, this is just a fucking straight white male talking here, so I mean, I could be totally off base, but it just didn't feel current.
It didn't, and I appreciate that they wanted to keep something from the book, right? But it just didn't. And again, I haven't read the book, so I don't know exactly what's there, what isn't, or whatever.
That's pretty much this.
It was lifted right out
Yeah.
of the book.
So-
yeah,
Without the balloons, I think. I don't remember
yeah,
the balloons.
yeah, exactly.
Well, but you remember balloons, right?
Yeah.
You remember it, right?
right.
No, it's-
red balloons, scary.
Scary. No, I mean, I thought that was setting a tone.
Right.
And here comes my number one complaint. I thought setting the tone of, wow, this is going to be a brutal movie.
Right.
And then everybody's fucking cracking a joke. And it's like, okay, I understand why kids crack jokes during scary things. I did it. You guys probably did it when you were actually scared of something. The only way you could deal with it was saying something glib,
Right.
or whatever. As an adult, I'm not saying something glib when I'm about to have a car accident or when something bad's about to happen to me,
Right.
and I don't quite, it takes a little bit of time for me to do that after the fact. And this movie's tone is fucked. It is probably one of the worst tonally correct movies I've seen in a long time.
I can't argue with that. I'm not going to argue with that because I agree with that. I was confused.
I didn't know how I was supposed to feel.
I was, and it didn't help matters when a lot of the scares for me were kind of goofy.
Well, they were diffused also immediately.
There was one huge diffusion that drove me nuts. I don't know if I can bring up exactly what it is.
Go for
Well, I'll
it.
just say Angel in the Morning.
Oh
That-
yeah,
That was weird.
yeah.
And to go back to your point
That was
about
bad.
the joking, it could have been less for sure. It would have been better and made more sense had I actually felt tension while
Yeah.
watching the movie.
Yeah.
Because it would have broke it.
It could
for
have
me.
relieved you. Yeah,
Right, it could have been an audience service to
Most
let
definitely.
me give me a minute to like unclench my fist, but I was never tense.
Right.
So I didn't need it.
yeah.
The only
Yeah.
time where I thought the joking was good was with the three doors.
yes.
Yes.
That was when it worked.
And
It was like they were children again.
and it was a callback, right? Yeah,
Yes, it
exactly.
was a callback to the kid, and the joking around in the Chinese restaurant.
I thought that
was fine.
I thought that
there
was
were
great.
plenty of great character moments,
I
but there were times where it's like he comes running out of that drugstore. He's covered in goop. He can't open the door, and the girl's like, "It's pull, not push," or whatever, or "It's push, not pull," or whatever. And it's like, do you want to stop and say, "I've got this gunky shit all over me"?
Yeah, what's
Like,
wrong? Do you need help?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That's
it's like-
another moment I think of
It-
the
'cause-
town being
Yeah.
implicit in everything. I think
but it's not done well. I mean, because
no, it's not.
Right,
But
I mean, because it's one of those things where it's like if she would have been off, then you could have that would have been one way to say that the town's infected with something.
right.
Or the other way is it smash cuts to him outside and he's not covered in goop. That's what I expected to happen there.
Right, that it
because she
actually
see it.
didn't happen.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
but then
Yeah.
it did happen.
Yeah.
What do you want me to feel, movie?
Right.
What is going on?
So that's a problem to go back to what Susan said, everyone's implicit. They built that throughout the first. They kind of only touched on it in the second. All of that is important, super important for King's original ending. And I don't want to get too far ahead or even talk about the ending too much, but they totally fall flat on the ending, and they give up that whole idea of the town has become infected by this evil, and that has very large consequences. In this movie, there are none.
Yeah.
For the city, for the town, whatever you want to.
I actually don't remember how the book was ended.
Derry falls apart.
Okay.
There is no moment at the end where everyone's like standing in front of a.
It's not just the house.
They want to get the
Yeah.
hell out of Derry still.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
You can say fuck on this podcast.
Yeah, sorry.
It's allowed.
I think it's a personal thing.
Fair.
Yeah, it's fair.
No, it's yeah, because like even the TV movie ended with Bill fixing his wife, who was caught in the deadlights.
Oh yeah.
And it's like he takes off with her down like a steep incline on a bike with her on the handlebars, and she wakes up while it's like, what the fuck?
Was it an alien in the book? I can't remember.
It's a celestial being.
I think they make the because I think some of that Indian stuff is in the miniseries.
In the miniseries, it's like a spacecraft, which is not really what it is.
Yeah.
But I think that for me is a King's fault because he built it that way.
Right. Oh, it most definitely is.
It should have been just an ancient, earthly evil, but it came from.
Could we have gotten just one more joke in chapter 2 about how bad King is about ending things?
I loved it at first.
The first time,
it was great.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. They for all you King fans, he can't end a book to save his life. Everyone says that. Yeah, they bang that drum.
Oh my god!
Lot
Oh my
in
god!
This movie.
I did like his cameo.
I did too.
Yes,
that was
100%.
That was charming as all get out.
That should have been the one and only joke about
his New England accent was wonderul.
Yes,
yeah.
It made me think I was watching Creepshow or something.
Yeah,
you know, meteor shit. If only
he was in a lot of his
like
80s movies.
Yeah.
He made cameos
and kind of making fun of the big shot author, and you can afford it because he probably gets that all the time.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. I like that a lot.
I'm guessing he hears that a lot in Maine. You
Yeah.
can afford it.
Yeah.
No, here's the thing. I very much enjoyed watching this movie. It was a fun time for me. Now, of course, you saw it so much later at night.
I saw it at 10:30 at night in really uncomfortable seats. By the time the third hour was beginning, I was pretty much done.
So,
and
sorry.
I was exhausted by jump scares.
I sat in those seats last night, and I'm totally with you. If I was in that theater for that movie, I would have had a major problem.
I was pretty miserable.
I didn't have an overall pacing issue with this film. I never looked at my watch like, are we almost done yet, or where are we?
Yeah.
Like, it felt a little long.
The final act was too long.
That was my issue. It's like,
I didn't mind the flashbacks. I thought those were absolutely essential, to be quite honest.
Well,
because,
it was the only thing that was really charming.
And I didn't really buy these relationships as adults anymore. So I needed the relationship as kids. I needed that reminder to carry back into their adulthood.
The flashbacks with all the kids.
With all the kids, yeah.
Not necessarily the totem.
No, I didn't really care for a lot of those totem flashbacks. But when they were together, yes, like the secret hideout and that kind of stuff, I liked.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I did like the. I did like. Flaming Head Ghost Rider, Bev. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought it looked cool, but it was undermined by like the goofy reciting of the poem.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, every time they set up like a scary.
No. You don't remember?
No.
Oh my God.
January Embers.
We need to keep repeating it because this guy forgot.
That comes up a lot in the book
but
too.
still, in a movie. I mean, in a book's one thing. In a movie's a different thing, though. It's like that's the thing. It's like you can do these kind of flashbacks. You can do these types of things and it fits well in the context of a book.
An 1,100-page book that
Exactly.
you're reading for weeks and weeks.
Exactly.
Not
Yeah.
in a 3-hour sitting.
Right.
Exactly. And that's why I wanted it to be really important that I don't know the book. I can only judge this as a movie, and as a movie, it kind of fails.
That's why they did that stuff for you, though.
I
They
know.
hammered on that stuff,
But I didn't
you
need
would
it,
recognize.
but I'm
no,
not a
I mean
dummy.
you're right.
No, yeah.
and I don't
Yeah.
want to speak ill of anybody, but
No.
there's probably some people out there who needed to
who
be hit
need
over
it.
the head
They
a
need
lot.
it. Yeah, they
and they
did.
probably loved the movie, which I see a lot of people loving this movie.
I
see some detractors, of course.
Sure.
Will, but
yeah. I'm just thinking
you're
about.
deflated.
I'm
You're
just.
like
I
Jason's
am.
little
defeated.
red deflated.
I just keep
balloon.
thinking about how every time there was they were ramping up a scene for a scare, other than a few scenes, like the scene that was in the trailer with the old lady in the apartment is pretty effective.
That creature thing
up until-
was
but-
fucking...
But why can't it just be like this? Susan said this last night to me as well, and I totally agree. It's like, why couldn't it have just been an old naked lady? Like,
Yeah,
that's
why did they
fucking
have
way scarier than some goofy face thing.
because
right?
that's gross, man.
But anyway,
Dummies in the audience.
Right, right.
it
You could feel him turning the crank on the scares, like you could
Right.
hear it
Yeah.
clicking.
Well,
and you knew when they
right.
were
It was like
losing.
a fucking Jack in the Box.
Yeah,
it was like, oh
exactly.
my god, which camera misdirection is fucking Pennywise or something going to be behind when somebody moves out of frame or whatever. It was just
Right.
like it was kind of amateurish camera manipulation,
Yeah,
and you could see it a mile away, and that drives me crazy. Nothing will make me bored quicker than that kind of shit.
Right.
And that did not help my case watching this movie late at night
Right.
in an uncomfortable chair.
Yeah.
When I can see the decisions that the director's making before he shows them to me, that's a big fucking problem.
Right.
It's like watching a magic trick and you know all the moves.
So let me ask you a question. I'll ask both of you a question, if you don't mind. You both like the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff, you first. Would you recommend this to someone who liked the first movie, or would you tell them, don't waste your time?
That's funny. Because here's the thing. I think everybody saw it this weekend. I don't think anybody's going next weekend.
You might be right. Word of mouth might kill.
Yeah.
It'll kill a
Here's the
lot
thing.
of the audience for this film.
I
think.
would probably say yes, asterisk. Asterisk being there are issues. It's not, I mean, and it's going to affect people various ways. I don't think the hype is what kills this movie. I think it's the movie that kills this movie.
Right. I mean, it could have lived up. You mentioned
shit,
Pennywise. We
Endgame.
didn't touch on this a lot, but I thought Pennywise was really good in this movie.
Yeah, I did
But
too.
I thought he was used maybe too sparingly and maybe too poorly. He should have
Or
been
sparingly in some parts and too much in others.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
They did give you a lot of him.
You
At the
get a
end.
lot more. You get a lot
Yeah.
more Pennywise. But no, it's like saying well, obviously, I don't think Endgame suffered from hype.
Right.
So, but that's where we're talking about like a movie. The hype is not going to kill this movie. The movie doesn't deliver on the hype, and that's what I would say to somebody. I would say, yes, go see it if you like the first one. Asterisk, the hype doesn't.
I think
don't be
people-
overhyped.
Not to be unfair to Endgame, but I think people overlook a lot for that movie too.
I think there's a few things that Endgame has going
I like
for
the
it.
Endgame.
No,
And
dude.
Endgame's got like, how are they going to bring everybody back?
Right.
Right?
Yeah,
How are they going to defeat Thanos? Like and that's a big if because he's already defeated them once, right?
Right.
Like what are they going to use? What are they going to deploy differently? And you can see the mirrors here, right, between it and
Yeah.
Endgame, but yet Endgame is building up to, I think, a more satisfying payoff, whereas with it, it's kind of like, well, they either defeat him or not, right?
Right, but
Well,
also
here's the-
Endgame. I'm sorry, real quick,
go
if
ahead.
you don't mind.
Go
Like,
ahead.
what are the actual
Endgame has
consequences?
Build on characters that have been in films
Yeah.
for the last
That's true
Yeah.
too.
however many
I mean,
years that you care.
We're ending multiple arcs
Right, and
over several
people
movies,
we care
right?
about, and some of
Right.
which who only show up for 2 minutes. But
Right.
Right.
Well, and there's also the final battle between the Avengers and Thanos is the last hour of Endgame.
Yeah.
No shit.
Well, almost
I mean,
the
I
entire
timed it-
last hour of it too
but
is
the
battling
thing is, though,
Pennywise.
is that the fan service for in-game is more satisfying, is
Right.
what I think you're saying.
That's exactly right.
Than the fan
because,
service.
Because guess what? We only just met Bill Hader and
Yeah.
James McAvoy and
Right.
Jessica Chastain a couple hours ago.
and honestly,
And
a
also,
lot of
guess
those
what? They
adult
don't have
characters I
real
didn't
s-
like.
They
Right.
don't have real superpowers.
Yeah.
True.
You can only stretch that fight on so long. So when they start hiding or whatever, or get out of his reach and stuff, it just
Well, yeah, and it's like you're only going to get you can only drive that car so long.
right.
Yeah.
Right. I thought the way that they ended it with him was good. It was just too long. The
Yeah.
defeating of demons was and should have been the point of this movie.
Yes.
They all kind of did that. All of them.
Right.
Asterisk.
But it's yeah. Oh, sorry. You can finish your point.
No, go ahead. That's pretty much it.
But I feel like it gets super hokey when you start getting into what is this being? Is it extraterrestrial? Is it a figment? Is it some sort of mental
Personification
of the town or of them? Right? Like, what is it? Fucking pick something. Is it something ancient to Native Americans? Seems that way, but is it? So wait a minute, we could just got to make him small by taking away his power, which is like the oldest fucking like trope in the book,
In that book.
yeah. And it's like, can we maybe just do something different other than like stare him down?
Right.
I mean, they basically did the fucking Care Bear stare at the end there, and it's kind of just not that interesting.
Right.
Somebody please make an edit where the Care Bears are defeating Pennywise. By calling him a fucking clown.
You fucking clown.
I think that's the only way they could have done it. They couldn't stab him through the heart. They couldn't.
I honestly would have liked it if the fucking ritual just worked. If I'm being honest.
Yeah. It
Just
essentially
give me like the weird Dreamcatcher ending.
It essentially did. So this is the weird Dreamcatcher ending. The
Uh-huh.
problem was they didn't believe it.
Right.
And when they kill him,
But
at
they
the
did.
end, they do believe it.
But they did believe it. I think they did believe it would work because Mike convinced them that it would work.
I think they
Did Mike
didn't.
not believe it would work?
I don't think they fully believed it while they were doing it.
Maybe.
But
But it's still
It wasn't-
it's an
it wasn't-
extraterrestrial, right? Like, why would this work anyway? I don't know.
extraterrestrial
Man,
and
if-
celestial, are those the same things?
Maybe it is celestial.
I don't know.
But to answer your
I don't-
question, that you posed,
Yes.
would I
Yes.
recommend it to someone who liked Chapter 1? I don't think it matters. They're going to see it.
They're gonna. Yeah, that's kind of what I was going
I would
with.
tell them to proceed with caution. You might enjoy it. You're going to see it anyway.
Your mileage may vary is the best
Yeah.
way to put that, I think.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to like fucking ruin your childhood or anything.
Well, I don't think
My childhood's ruined.
that was long before this movie.
And again, my own hype defeated my childhood.
Yes. Yeah. Too hyped up.
No, I mean, if somebody came up to me and said, "Man, I really like that movie," I'd be like, "Good for you. That's fine." I'm not offended by them, liking this movie, and I did. And
I
of
was
course, I don't
just
have-
really surprised by how much I disliked it.
Yes,
Like
I was too.
I really, really
By how much you dislike
just.
I
Man.
thought I was either going to be the guy in the middle or the guy on the outside. And you thought, what did you say before you saw it? You thought Chuck would love it. I would be
I thought you would probably
in the middle.
be in the middle.
And
yeah.
that you would slightly dislike it more.
Well, I definitely thought that after I saw it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to be the one that doesn't like this the most. But I wasn't really sure going in.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were pretty sure I was going to be in the middle. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't
Yeah.
know. Because I didn't know what you guys being readers,
There was enough for me there to enjoy the movie.
Okay.
That's what I'll say. I
enjoyed
watching
seeing it.
Scream, not to bring Scream into the podcast yet again, but I enjoyed watching Scream that I've seen a million times the next night more.
Yeah.
If that says
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
So,
Most definitely.
well, Chuck, I'm going to turn the question back to you then. What would you say to somebody who really liked the first? They've waited a couple weeks. They're not really sure. They've heard the differing opinions.
If it came to, maybe I should have posed it this way. if it came to them spending money and not spending money, I'd say go ahead and wait until you can watch it on HBO.
Yeah.
Go ahead
Or
and
just
wait
get
until
it
you
on-
get it out of Redbox.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Redbox.
Whatever.
It's a solid rental.
Yeah.
I would say
I'll
it's
watch it again.
100% a rental.
Oh man, I who knows? I might like it a lot better on my couch
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think part of
when I
yours,
can
and
when I
don't
can pause it and go take a piss and
wanna-
yeah.
have a
wanna jump
comfortable-
into
I might
your
like it a lot
brain,
more.
But I feel like your situation definitely contributed to how much you disliked it. But I don't. I'm not trying to be in your head. Right?
No. I think I would have liked it better under different viewing circumstances. I still think all of the things I don't like about it stand.
Yeah, I think you just are magnified.
They just were magnified,
or they
right?
were magnified, not you.
I will say that I was legitimately digging it up through the Chinese restaurant. I was like, all right, this feels like the novel.
Mhm.
It's hitting all the right beats. It's setting all the right tone. I was like, the stuff coming out of the fortune cookies is a little goofy, but it's all right, you know.
Some of that stuff I just thought was like, well, let's just do something
Like,
different.
like eyeballs and weird
Yeah.
shit, and like
Oh, the little
sort of like,
baby
like,
thing.
It was kind of like a little crafty and weird shit, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, it's a little weird, a little goofy, but all right, you know.
well, I think in some
and
ways
then
it
the-
helps set up that otherworldly.
Yeah,
other
and then
dimensional
Mike,
idea.
you know, crashing. Was it Mike or was it?
Yeah, it was Mike
yeah, it was
fucking up that table.
fucking up the table with the chair. I was like, all right, you know, this is okay. They
But nobody stopped and said, "Sir." It was just that lady
That
comes in
just
and is like,
like-
"What's
so-
wrong?"
so
yeah.
that's-
Could I help you with something?
That shows
yeah.
another inconsistency in the movie that I thought of right after, and something you mentioned when Eddie walks out of the drugstore and he's covered in stuff. Maybe it's still only him seeing it because she didn't see anything that was going on in the room when she stopped them at the
Yeah.
But
restaurant.
as the audience, we need to know what.
That's what I'm
Right.
saying.
Yeah.
It's an
I like
inconsistency.
to
don't
know
really
the rules of reality.
Right.
When I see a movie
Yeah.
like this. Yeah.
And we definitely didn't get that.
Yeah.
Those two scenes
I mean,
expressly, like,
and whoever this guy Fruschetti is or whatever, he's not fucking David Lynch. He's not trying to confuse, you know, it's not effective in a movie like this to try and confuse the audience by what's real
Right.
and what's not.
So, an interesting thing, just an interesting point. I know you probably want to. Maybe it's not interesting, but the Duffer Brothers.
Yes.
When it was originally announced, I was upset that the Duffer Brothers didn't get it.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Well, obvious reasons, I think. I don't even know if they were trying to get it.
Well, yeah, they did.
I think they did.
The reason they made Stranger Things is because they didn't get to make it.
Right.
They're like, well,
That's
we'll
true.
do something kind of
That's
like
true.
it
That's true.
cause to get this out of our system because we really want to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I remember that. So I learned all this post, actually. They'd already made Stranger Things when I heard it was coming
Mm-hmm.
out, right? But after the first movie, I was like, okay, it's okay the Duffer Brothers didn't get it. Now I'm like, I wish the Duffer Brothers got it.
But honestly, I'm kind of cool with them not getting it because we got Stranger Things.
That's true,
Which
too.
I enjoy a whole hell of a lot better than these two movies.
But who knows how good these two movies would have been. I'm glad we got an original property for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Stranger Things.
Yeah.
100%.
yeah. I mean, that's not without its faults, obviously, but it's a whole hell of a lot more fun
It's
than
almost
these It movies.
And it's good that we did bring this up because it's almost impossible to not talk about Stranger Things and it
Yeah.
because they're
They're linked
they're-
in multiple ways now. Yeah.
they're absolutely at least spiritual
Yeah.
siblings.
Yeah.
Yes, the Duffer Brothers 100% idolized Stephen King. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Any last thoughts? I'm not going to say this is not going to be anywhere near the worst movie or most disappointing movie I saw this year. I was hyped for it.
It'll probably
I was
be
a
the
little,
longest.
I was kind of bummed. It's the longest disappointment. No.
It was chapters 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
Was it longer than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? I haven't looked at
Yes.
the runtimes, but
Yeah, like
it
by
has to be close.
three
By
or-
about 20 minutes, maybe.
Was
That
it?
many?
Was
Yeah.
it?
I think
Really?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is at 240. This is 3.
No, it wasn't quite 3. It was 249 was
Yeah,
what
that's-
this is.
yeah.
But it's
God,
over
God,
3
it-
with all
it-
the
it
with all
felt-
the
it
trailers.
felt-
Every bit of 3 hours
Yeah.
on your.
Oh my God! It felt
your
well. It felt
lumbar.
every.
There were
bit-
times it felt like it was
long-
real slow.
Oh, and it suffered from Return of the King syndrome.
Multiple endings.
Multiple
Yeah.
endings. It's like Jesus Christ, end this fucking movie.
Oh my God, we're burying this poor thing.
Yeah.
It's being buried.
Sorry, I'm on the
If you're still
extreme
listening,
spectrum.
Jason hated this movie. If you aren't aware of it yet.
Hate's a strong word, but yeah,
I don't see. This
I
is
didn't
not going to
like
be
it.
your least favorite movie of the year, though. I don't think.
Probably not.
No.
But it could be most disappointing.
Yeah.
Disappointing. It definitely falls under disappointing for me.
Yeah. It's
For
this-
the movie itself and for how they. Yeah.
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 Great first act. Great first act.
Agreed.
Yeah.
They nailed 2/3 of the story overall between the two movies, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Wednesdays, new episodes of Film Seizure. We are in the midst of Sexy September,
Yes, indeed.
where we're talking about the Poison Ivy movies.
Yeah.
We've
Just
got
turned
a
into-
special episode at the end of this week.
It's turned into yellow. What was that? Oh yeah, the Ferris Bueller song.
Oh.
Oh.
Bo.
Yeah.
What was the name of that artist?
I don't know.
No idea.
I think it was Yellow. YELLO. Oh, whatever.
So end of this week, we've got a special episode for Friday the 13th.
Yes.
Anyway, Monster Mondays. Keep, Mondays, Wednesdays, there's always something to hear.
These dudes are prolific.
Jeff especially. He's
Fridays,
Jeff's
B
always
movie.
he's
Anima.
always cutting something together. He's
Yeah.
got you're in the midst of your new thing, I think, by now, or will be soon.
Before too long, yeah.
Yeah.
So there are news. There are news.
There are news.
There are news for B Movie Anima coming soon. So be on the lookout for that. Anyway, so filmseizure.com, Facebook, Twitter at Film Seizure, Spotify, Apple,
SoundCloud.
Google, SoundCloud, TuneIn. Find us there.
Filmseizure.com.
Exactly. That's home base. So, So, guys, pleasure talking about it.
Yeah. Chicka chicka.
Boom.
So, anyway, my name is Jeff Arbuckle.
I'm Jason Oliver.
I'm Chuck Moore.
And don't forget to save us the aisle seats.
For 27 years, I dreamt of you. I craved you. I missed you.